When taking a wheel off, first thing you will need to do is disconnect the brakes. You may first need to loosen a cable clamp like this. If you have disc brakes, you can skip this step. Once they are loosened, pull the end of the cable guider back. Next, you will loosen the quick release. On bikes with no quick release, just go ahead and loosen the bolt. For the rear, you will repeat the same steps, but in reverse. When removing the rear wheel, after disconnecting the brakes and loosening the quick release, you may need to finagle the derailleur a little bit like so to get the wheel off. Putting the wheel back on will be the same steps but in reverse, and as such, sometimes pulling down on the bottom of the derailleur will help get it back on. Make sure the wheel is in the right place before you tighten the quick release down. To take the tire off the rim, you'll use a tire lever to pry it out. Be careful not to do this on the valve. Repeat this process all around the tire until the tire is no longer attached to the rim. You can then carefully pull the inner tube out, starting with the area around the valve. To put a wheel back together, I like to start by putting the tube in the tire just a little bit inflated, and then line it up with the rim as good as you can. Next, you'll take the tire lever and pry the edge of the tire over the rim, working your way around until the tire is totally secured and no edge is visible. Once that's done, I also like to run the iron around just to make sure the inner tube isn't getting pinched at all between the rim and the tire. Now you can inflate it back up, paying close attention to the minimum and maximum tire pressures listed on your tire. For patching a tube, you will probably have a kit something like this, with either stick-on patches or rubber patches, tire levers, sandpaper, or some sort of scuffing device, and rubber cement depending on what kind of patches. An easy way to find the leak is with some water. The leak will be bubbling in the water as seen here. Once I find the leak, I like to mark where it is with a marker just because it's very easy to forget exactly where they are because they can be very small sometimes. Next, once you found the leak, you're going to use the included device or sandpaper to scuff the area around the leak just a bit. For sticker patches, take one off and apply it directly around where the leak is and press firmly. You may need to apply more than one depending on what place it's in. Now, if your kit has rubber cement rubber patches, what you're going to want to do is apply a little bit of rubber cement to the area and put the patch on and then hold it there for a few minutes. Make sure it's very secure. And then you're going to want to let it sit for a long while to make sure the rubber cement cures correctly.